Go get him, Supergirl, from freaking Cat Grant.
Yeah.
Guys. Hi guys, I'm Shannon.
I'm Jadon. I don't know what happened there, but.
And we are Nerd Jams. We are here for our final installment of the DC TV shows.
Well, the finale.
For this season.
Final makes it sound like,
for this season. You didn't let me finish, so maybe that's why Jadon forgot his name for a moment. We are going to start with Supergirl, and I am actually going to kick it off real quick with some post-episode news that came out, because I've got to get this off my chest.
I also have something to talk about before, but...
Okay. If you actually watch these, you know I said in an earlier episode, after we got to see actually more of Floriana Lima's acting and how incredible she is, I said that I was worried that we would lose this actress because the writers were not actually giving her character anything. She had just such little screen time. She was basically just there for Alex and nothing else. And since the finale aired, it has been announced that Floriana Lima has gone from series regular to recurring character. And I know that that doesn't mean much. Maxwell Lord was a recurring character in Peter Fasinelli, and I believe he was in half the season's episodes, like 12 episodes or something. Yeah. So I'm not, in that sense, I'm not too worried, but at the same time, it really sucks. I said it back then that if they didn't give this actress more, that I wouldn't blame her if she looked elsewhere. And what I am kind of upset about, and I haven't read all of it, but I believe the actress more than I would believe the writers and producers and other things. Floriana Lima tweeted the article stating that she was going down to recurring character with something along the lines of, although this role was only supposed to last one season, I'm happy to continue to play Maggie. Something along those lines. So that the writers knew that they were bringing in Maggie Sawyer for one season, and they made her such a huge impact on Alex Danvers' life. And not just that, guys, you've got to remember, you are the CW who's already screwed the LGBT community. Not that you have to cater to your fans and walk on eggshells and stuff. They've built this relationship up big, and obviously with the finale and what happens there. So I'm a little upset with that, and I really hope that they do it right, and that it's not just going to be a breakup and then two episodes later Alex gets with some new girl or goes back to men.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it feel gimmicky, really.
Yes.
It does cheapen the whole thing, because it really does feel like, oh, we just brought her in to, introduce this character development for Alex, and also, I mean, we can get into it more in the episode, but I was telling you that it does, it instantly, like, my first thought was just like, oh, they're just doing this, so sometime in the beginning of the next season, they can break it off and create some drama. I
wonder if Maggie's even going to say yes. We'll get into that in just a moment.
Yeah, she little hasn't.
So what did you want to discuss?
Well, so last week, we had some sad news in the DC universe. Most people know about it now, but Zack Snyder's daughter Autumn, and back in March, I think the 20th, she took her own life. And so the Snyders came out and I guess revealed this information to everyone. I think it was on Monday or something around there.
I believe it was. It was somewhere early last week.
Yeah. There's a whole article. There's a great article with them talking about it. And so just wanted to convey our condolences, and our thoughts and prayers are with them.
And he's also stepping down, and so is his wife, who's a big part of the production as well.
Yeah.
And Joss Whedon is taking over a bigger role.
Yeah.
And that's in sense.
And so just to clarify, so what's happening is that, so I guess back in March when everything happened, the Snyders, kept it to themselves and their close family and friends, and they did. Zach talked about how he tried to throw himself into his work to kind of move through it, and I guess in May he decided to step down and just let Joss continue with it, because I guess Joss wrote some additional scenes, the additional scenes that are going to be filmed. because I guess he's working on a project a little bit with him. But yeah, he just decided that he has like 7 other kids to worry about and that need him. So it is what it is. So what Joss Whedon's going to be doing is he's just going to be filming those additional scenes that were already planned on working on they're already planned on doing for Justice League. It's just reshoots, like every single movie does reshoots. So there's just some additional scenes, no new characters. It's all going to be along the same tone and style as Zach's work. So, and the more I think about it, I feel like Zach's probably going to come back in because there's like 6 months at least. Yeah, I'm not going to do the math till November. So I feel like, at some point he's still going to be part of the process and everything. But it's definitely, it's just a movie, like he said. Mm-hmm. It's just a movie, so I just want him to take care of what he needs to take care of.
So after that, again, that's our condolences. It's always hard to get through things like that, and definitely understand anybody having to take a step down from their job. But let's get into our review of Supergirl Season 2, Episode 22, Nevertheless, She Persisted.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to continue. I texted Jadon and I said I just cheered aloud and jumped off my bed at the end of Supergirl. There may have even been a fist pump. So I asked him if he knows what part it was, and you forgot that I said the end, because he says when Supergirl beats Superman. No. So what? So you get another...
When Mon-El left?
Nope.
I don't know. When she...
Go get him, Supergirl, from freaking Cat Grant!
Yeah.
Guys, I have to give you an, what is the word I'm looking for? A reenactment. So I'm watching on my bed, and I'm leaned back, and it's been I actually enjoyed most of this episode, and the end felt like Supergirl Season 1.
Yeah.
But I lean back, and the Sandverse proposal happens, and I'm like, oh, that's lesbians for you. But it was cute. And then this is me watching. Kat's talking to her, and I'm thinking, oh, gosh, she's got to know. So I'm intently listening to the words in this to listen for innuendos for Supergirl stuff. And she starts talking about the things that Kara's done. And I'm like, wait, those are all Supergirl things. I'm listening, and then she goes, what else did she say? She's like, you'll soar above it. And I was like, that's a Supergirl thing. That's so a Supergirl thing. And she keeps talking, and I get on the edge of my seat like this. And as soon as the emergency video comes up on the screen, I was just like, she knows. She's going to say something. And I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, like with my hands down here, just like waiting. And she starts to walk out, and I'm like, no, she knows. She was just trying to tell her. She knows. And she gives her a, go get him, Supergirl. And I jumped up. And that has not happened since Buffy Season 7, when actually the last episode, when it felt like Buffy again. And so it's so funny, because I told a friend of mine about it too, and I was like, so apparently not just teenage Shannon does that. I do jump up out of my chair sometimes. But yes, Cat Grant freaking knows. And I was also telling you that Kat's moving her stuff back into her office and kicking James out, but I think they're toying with my heart. I don't think she's staying.
It would feel really messed up if she just came in and was like, by the way, I'm taking back my job. You can move out into the other corner office or something. It's like...
I 1000% disagree with that. She never gave... She said you are filling in while I'm gone. She never said this is your company now. No, you're allowed. It's just like taking. It's just a sabbatical. Someone has to step in when you take a sabbatical.
It felt more final than that, though.
Maybe that's probably just because we knew Callisto wasn't coming back.
It probably is, but yeah, it would feel pretty messed up if he just came back and was like, "What's happening?"
But just having Cat Grant there again, having a reason for Kara to be in Catco. How often have we seen her in Catco this season?
Hardly at all.
Hardly at all. And then Kat's back for 2 episodes, and we see her there a ton.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense.
She was definitely more tolerable this episode. She worked a lot better for me without her speeches. Well, except the last speech was give and take. It was like, I agree with you. The last from start. So for whenever she's at Catco. So when she walks into the office, up until till you last see her on screen. So cutting out the 35 years ago.
Yes.
Cut all that crap out because we.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah. It felt like season 1.
It was great, and I love season 1. Most people are like, season 1's like, eh.
No.
I was like, no, season 1's a lot better for me.
Yeah, go back and watch Red Kryptonite. And,
at some point. There's left a bad taste in my mouth, so it's going to be...
But it felt like it was Supergirl's show again. Where I love the Sanford storyline. I love learning more about Alex. Even having a James-centric storyline here and there. But this whole season felt like like Kara didn't have her own storyline. Like she was just there most of the time in the episodes and just, I don't know, it just felt good. And I loved the scene with her and Cat Grant where she's sad and she's trying not to talk to her, but then she has to give in and she's upset about Mon-El leaving.
Well, let me tell you why. The thing, on some levels it worked, some levels it didn't. So like, it was weird, like, because it was something that I've talked about with other people, but it was the way that she talked was, it should have been less of more, oh, you guys broke up, that's sad, you'll move on or whatever. It should have been more like, I'm sorry for your loss, and he would have wanted you to be happy and to move forward.
However,
that would have worked a little bit better.
Kat doesn't know that she lost him.
Yeah, and I feel like, and that's why I was waiting for her to say something like, oh, like it wasn't just a breakup. Like,
right, but she couldn't.
Yeah, and then there's a couple, and I'm not the only person. Most of the internet, actually, like most of the people that like on Reddit and other commenting sites and reviews, talked about how there were way too many female agenda moments. And the one that for this scene was, well, this is why women are strong.
Because we're not afraid to be vulnerable.
This, and this. And it's like, well, it's 2017. Men aren't afraid to be vulnerable. That doesn't really work. It was one of the least egregious ones, but yeah, but everything else she said in that was amazing and great.
Yes. I don't know, I look over a lot of that stuff. It's just, it is what it is. It doesn't empower me when she says those things. I'm sure it does some women out there, but...
Yeah, but like that's what I was saying was that like, a lot of people were, even like they say, well, as a woman, I'm all for the female empowerment, and I love what this show does, but this episode had way too much of it. And there's different things I'll point out, but...
Well, Kat knows.
Yeah. And
I said it in the episode before that I hope that she knows and she's just trying to respect Kara and Supergirl by pretending that she doesn't. And I was right.
It makes me feel better that she's known the whole time. It'll never sit quite right with me, what they tried to do.
Yes. Now, does she know that Clark Kent is Superman?
I think it'd be really, really weird if she didn't.
Yeah, I think she does.
It was a nice throw off, though. It was a nice throw off, though. She said if he took off those glasses and you see those green eyes, and
he'd be a tiger in bed.
His eyes are blue. So that was a nice little.
But he'd be a tiger in bed, and Kara turns around and gags, and it says, "God, I hope Rhea kills me."
Yeah. That was one of the good lines.
Several moments that I laughed out loud, and again, that's one of the things I love about this show.
Yeah, someone was saying like, Kat is the ultimate troll if she knows who Superman is.
She knows it's her cousin that she's talking about. I love how Kat just immediately gets flustered and like flirty when Clark walks in too.
It's she's really like, weird. Like it throws me off so much.
I love it.
Like I mean, it's not bad. It throws me off so badly. Yeah. Like she's all of a sudden goes from this to like I don't know. Clark Bar.
Well, Clark Bar. But she did also in the second to last episode when she was looking at all the DEO agents and their tactical gear and all the hot sweaty. Anyways, I was happy to have Cat Grant back, and the biggest thing it was so funny to see the progression of me listening to her speech and just knowing that they were building up that I was right, that she knows. What else you got?
So let's go back to the beginning because there's a lot of stuff. So the Supergirl Superman fight. what did you think? Because I'm on the fence of like it looked good at some points and it looked really bad at some points. Like, and then there's this whole weird thing. Like every time they threw a punch, something exploded.
The explosions were weird. However, I loved it. I thought we've talked about slow motion before and how we usually don't like it. I thought they, really well, yeah, not all of it, but I thought they did a pretty damn good job with the slow motion because, again, we've talked about when the supers punch and hit and stuff, you know, even though they're hitting someone the same strength, you still need to not just be punched out. Like, they should fly across the room. And I thought slowing it down showed that really well.
That was a step in the right direction. But then I went back and watched the Lex versus Clark's Smallville fight when Zod possesses Lex's body, and it's still not quite like it's amazing how well that show did with their superpowered fights because there was less punches thrown, but like there's more destruction to show how strong these people were.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, but I've always said I don't like the destruction. Like you're fighting and you're just destroying the city and killing people around you. There's no way. So I loved it. I loved that it was out in the open so that they were fighting. The knockout punch I loved. When she uppercuts him.
Yeah.
I loved how she collapsed afterwards. And you could see that they were both exhausted trying to throw punches. I did not like that part. Why not?
Because, like, okay, so what goes along with the whole destruction thing is, like, these are supposedly, I know this is a TV show, but these are supposedly two godlike beings throwing punches at each other. Mm-hmm. Of course there will be destruction, of course there will be death, but then you go back to the godlike, I feel like they got tired way too fast.
So here's why, and I used to say it about Buffy all the time, is that, you know, oh, why is she struggling to pick that up, or they were inconsistent with her strength. They're not inconsistent with their strength. It's the same thing as normal human beings, powerlifting your stuff. If you lift 100% of your strength every lift, you're done like that. Like, you've got to build up to it. You can't, or doing sprints. When I do sprints at the end of practice, I don't go 100% for the first 5 minutes of the 10 minutes because I would be gassed. However, I think the reason that they got gassed so quickly is because he thought he was killing his mortal enemy that was taking over Earth. So he was probably throwing his hardest punch every single punch and kick. And then Kara has to match that. So that I was fine with it. I thought it made sense because it's always been their powers get drained when they overexert themselves, that sort of thing. So I thought it was fine.
Okay. That brings up a whole other set of problems. I never want to see this Zod again.
I told you you'd hate him.
Yeah,
but I like how they used him.
I did like how they used him. Like, they didn't suddenly throw in General Zod.
But it was awful.
Yeah, it was awful. They had a Man of Steel. They had a Man of Steel reference. With the mom and the kid in the elevator, and he sees. Kara tries to help, and then he grabs her.
Yeah.
And throws her.
What about Warworld?
That's another thing that makes So I have no problem. I have absolutely no problem with Supergirl or a handful of other characters beating Superman. I just played Injustice 2, and I just beat the piss out of Superman with Supergirl. But it's the way I would have been fine with it if it hadn't been a slugfest and she beat him, because there's no way. Like, I tried to think about this, like how could she beat him? Because even if she's stronger, he is more experienced. Mm-hmm. And he is going all out apparently. Mm-hmm. That's total BS. So like thinking about it that way, it's like, well, she still wouldn't win. And then thinking about it the other way, he's way too powerful.
I told you we were gonna fight about this.
It is like, and like I said, I've been going through a whole bunch of other outlets and people. This is like the main conversation pieces. If she would beat him, and it's basically, I haven't found a way where I could feasibly say she beat him. So I would have rather have been like a Superman 2 throwback where she tricks him and stops him that way or something. But it's all out slugfest. I feel like it's gonna be Superman every time.
I'm perfectly fine with it. David and Goliath.
If Martian Manhunter had showed up,
any given day, anybody can be beaten on any given day.
Yeah,
and
but
they
made a
you
point
can
to
get
say
lucky punch.
they made a point to say he's going all out, and he's trying.
Well, he
to stop
said he
him.
was at full strength because Kara even doubted herself and said, Silver Kryptonite must have weakened you. He's like, no, I was at full strength.
BS.
Well, it's just the way they had to do it for their storyline because the champion has to fight, and if he's beat her,
yeah, the champion.
I know, it's stupid.
Yeah.
I even said it a few minutes ago off screen that it was pointless to have Superman come back. It was just to prove that Kara is strong enough when we don't need that as an audience because you have proved it to us, and she doesn't need it as her because she's had her family telling her that for I don't know how long. She's got Alex, James, Wynn, all these people lifting her up and making her stronger together. So she didn't need that. Except for then you got Mon-El, who doesn't ever want her to fight something that looks like it could beat her.
I totally agree with him
fear.
on this one, though.
At least it was out of fear and not thinking that,
I
she
didn't feel like
can't
it was
win.
out of fear, though.
Well, she says it, just because you're afraid that you're going to lose
Yeah,
me.
and I felt like that's another thing where they threw in where it's like they have to show her dominance, and
It made me feel better that they said it was out of fear rather than him just thinking she wasn't good enough, wasn't strong enough.
Well, I was
He
fine
was
with
just
that.
scared.
I was fine with that because he knows how smart she is. She took out Martian Manhunter. She stopped her before in the last episode. They've shown that Rhea is very resourceful and she's very devious and she's gonna win by any means. And I think that.
But see, in this,
I thought it was totally fine if Mon-El thought that she may not have been taking that into consideration.
and I didn't feel like he
Which
said
she
that
obviously
at all.
didn't.
That he was worried that she would cheat and be honorable.
They
that.
didn't say it outright, but I felt that was more implied.
See, that's the difference between me. So go all the way back to when she's fighting Parasite and he's arguing with her that she doesn't need to take him on, and then Mxyzptlk, and he just has not supported her in her strength. Is all I'm saying. And now it's out of fear, and I felt better about him being afraid of losing her if someone, because anybody can be beaten on any given day,
Yeah.
if someone got lucky or cheated. So I felt better about that.
The whole concept of the fight was a problem for me, just in general. Oh, sorry.
I did not expect it to happen so soon and for it to be the way it was, I guess. I don't know.
I felt like there's just so many problems with this whole thing, because, like, first of all, it's childlike combat, and Agni Kai, as everyone's calling it from Avatar. It's something that I'm just worn out on. It's used so many times as an out or whatever, and then they took place on a rooftop, which was just weird. It was just really bizarre. Like, I'm just thinking of that conversation. Like, okay, so we'll meet here. It's like, no, let's go out to the desert and fight.
Yeah, the desert would have. The desert would have been better, but then they wouldn't have seen this. I understand why they did a rooftop, because one, it's away from civilians, unless you throw one of them off unless you throw something off the building. But Kara has to be there when the city starts getting attacked. If they're out in the desert, she's not going to be there.
I felt like this could have been taken care of with, this would have been another way to use Superman better, is to have him, cause he's going around saving people around the city and everything, which is great.
With Martian Manhunter.
They cut away from this fight, which was really disappointing.
Stupid.
It was really dumb. I feel like Mon-El's fight was the best.
I actually felt like we needed more fight scenes in this episode.
Yeah.
We needed more action. Agreed.
But what was I saying? So I feel like the way they could have fixed it was to have Superman have a secondary storyline, because the whole episode he's following her like some lost child. Yep. It was really just weird.
Like I said, it just didn't seem right to have him there. I understand why for the storyline, but again, he doesn't. Kind of like Maggie Sawyer.
Yeah. So if he had a secondary, a subplot or something, that would have been great. Like, he was responsible for taking down all the ships.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool. It's another way to show that he's not some weak dude just following his cousin everywhere. But it would have been really cool to see. The fight on the ground was, like I said, Mon-El's fight was probably the best. And where was Guardian the whole time? That was really
he was
weird.
in Cat Grant's office for 10 seconds of screen time, which is almost as much as Maggie Sawyer got.
Like, the one time to prove to everyone that Guardian's not a menace.
Yep.
But instead we have these stupid white Martians for some reason.
Well, that's the whole reason Magan went there, was to find white Martians that felt like she did.
Yeah. I felt like, there's just a lot of things that rubbed me wrong. Like this, how quickly Martian Manhunter came out of his coma or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately he turns into a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't. It's funny because like it's always like this moment where it's like, okay, we don't have enough money for this, and go.
And now he's a human again.
Yeah. Her whole part felt a little, I guess, ham-fisted, and then just, yeah, I wasn't a fan of seeing the White Martian show up.
Nope, and it was just completely rushed. You want to think about rushed? It was completely rushed, and she's still his niece and other stories, so it's weird. I know she's not in this verse, and it's okay to change things. We've said it many times, but it's still weird.
But the writers knew it. Like they knew that there's a.
She just looks so much younger than him.
Yeah, it is.
She's not.
Weird. Yeah.
Anyway.
She's much like the actress is older, a little bit older than.
So Jadon and McGon got together. Cool. That's how I felt. I was like, meh.
Yeah, someone was like. Someone was commenting like, so this would be like if there was a Martian show and Kara and Superman were together.
Oh.
That's how some of us feel, and the writers knew it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that is. That's perfect.
That makes sense. What do we need to move on to? So the fight, Rhea and Kryptonite Blood. I thought it was stupid.
I'm not even gonna mention that.
I thought it was stupid.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I get it. Your planet was irradiated with kryptonite, and it is, radioactive, and it's just, kind of like if shit like that, stuff like that happened to the people. Anyways, it was stupid, but whatever, it worked.
Yeah, I mean, because like I know that like in the comic books, it's like yes, kryptonite affects people like kryptonite's more than anyone else, but it's still radioactive to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lex Luthor even loses his hand at one point and dies because he just had so much exposure to kryptonite poisoning. And she's walking around with glowing bloods. Yeah.
And it only affects Supergirl when she's actually bleeding.
Yeah, that was...
So it was weird. It didn't hit home for me.
Is your skin made of
but
blood?
Her dying was cool.
Yeah, it was cool until she turned into stone. I was like, wait, what?
I thought she turned into ash.
It was...
Yeah.
Whatever, whichever. I would have been happier if she just laid down and died.
Agreed. Let's go back to Jean waking up though. When?
Oh yeah.
Papa Bear and he slides into a hug. Wynn seeing Superman again.
And whispering. Okay,
wait. First off, he trips going upstairs, and Alex is just like, "You good?"
Yeah.
And he's just, you might not remember me. And then Superman does his, thing where he is so polite and remembers everybody. That, oh yeah, Wynn, the resident genius of DEO, how you doing? And then he doesn't respond, and then he just, I love you.
Yeah. And Superman heard it.
I love him.
That's always been a weird thing for me, because like on one hand it's like, oh, Superman knows everyone, but like he also comes off as like a politician, like
yes, politician.
This like they did on Parks and Rec, like in the later seasons when Ben and April are working for that one politician in Washington D.C. and he's like a robot. They make fun of him because he's like a robot. He's like, this person, this and this. Nice to meet you. That's what it comes off to me as. Like I can't help but think of it.
He does it better than that.
Yeah,
but
he does it better.
is.
But yeah.
And as always, just stay with us as we jump around because we remember one thing or that, and because now that we're on Wynn, he teams up with Lena, which was awesome.
Freaking Lena.
What?
Okay, she was great.
First off,
she was great as an angry drunk. That was great. But she got fooled again. Like she got fooled, but she didn't. But it was still like. The fact that she even trusted her a little bit, she's like, oh, well, I have this device and you should use this. It's like, get that away from me. That is what her reaction should have been. Was, get that away from me, security, get rid of this woman.
Why? She wants to help. Okay, first off, Lena freaking Luthor has saved the world and National City twice, and no one has thanked her. Someone go give her a hug and say thank you.
Yeah, because apparently Lillian took...
Well, yeah, Lillian took credit in the news. But why has Supergirl not gone to say thank you? Because Medusa episode, when she tricks her mom and doesn't kill all the aliens, Lena did that. And then this episode, when she puts lead in the atmosphere, Lena, with the help of Wynn, did that. Go thank her on camera.
Yeah.
However, I loved when her mom comes in. I liked Brenda Strong again. I liked her acting in this, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think that they're going to try to make her arc, try to love the dog, be a better mother sort of arc, and I'm not sure I think she's redeemable.
I wish she would have turned to ash.
But we talked about it, or I said I forgot to mention last week, that whether we like it or not, they've been very consistent with Lena's need for an authoritative figure. Oh my gosh, authority figure, a mother figure, a father figure, approval, that sort of thing. But Lena flat out says it. She's just like, thanks to you.
Like it helps that she was aware of it and she was, but it's still like, oh, again.
She's like, I taught you better than that, and she's like, it's because of you that I was seeking her approval.
Yeah.
Her comfort.
Like, you left me so damaged. I try to find, approval for wherever I can get it or whatever. But
so I thought that was a really good scene.
That helped save it. So yeah, that.
One of my favorite parts though is when she calls Supergirl there and tells her that she can fix it, and that all Daxamites would have to leave, including Mon-El. And then Lena kind of gives a little shade to Supergirl. Did you know he was dating Kara Danvers? Like, maybe she thought that there was something between Supergirl and Mon-El for a second, and so she's upset about her best friend. It was very... She definitely had a little anger to her.
It was like a little, okay.
Again, when she says that, and I think I rewound it like 3 times because I wanted to see the reaction on both sides. When Lena asked, did you know that that he's dating Kara Danvers? The look that Melissa Benoist gives Brenda Strong's character, Lillian, was awesome. Because Lillian knows she's Kara Danvers. And she knows that she's dating Mon-El. And it was really good. Yeah. So she's eye contact with Lena, and she asks her that, and she immediately falters and looks down and then looks right to Lillian like, oh crap. It was just a really good shot. It was a really good reaction. And then Lillian had a smirk like, oh, alright. Like she had a little extra dirt on her now. That was really cool.
Can we talk about the device?
Yeah.
Okay. Bull! Total bull! There's so many things wrong with this. Like, I know that they throw the line in, like, this is non-lethal to humans. Bull. I call bull. Especially for those 3 standing right next to it as it blows up in their faces. And that it spreads across the atmosphere in, like, less than a second. Like, that was really fast for how far it's supposed to spread and for being led. It's just an easy fix. Like, you know how we talked about why didn't Barry put Iris in prison?
In the prison with the metahuman dampener?
Why did they not throw Mon-El into Earth 1? They have a device. They have the device that Cisco made for them for her to go back and forth.
I didn't even think about that because I was happy to see Mon-El get booted.
They could have put him in a quarantine zone.
Because they're going to have a Valor freaking CW show come out now.
I doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it, though.
Please, I beg you, please do not give Berlanti any more shows. I am begging you. Let someone else do it.
I'm getting on that train.
It's too many.
Why didn't they do this? But
it was a great goodbye.
In all of the easy fixes that we've had in these 4 shows, this one was definitely not the worst. It was a quick fix more than an easy fix. They could have stretched it out. It could have, taken more time. But at the same time, they didn't have enough time in the episode for it to be longer.
Yeah.
So it rolled right over for me. I was like, oh, cool. I really like. Oh, I gave Supergirl the remote. Lillian yanks it from her immediately.
Yeah.
You said it works.
Yeah, I did like that. That was a few moments I liked in this.
Lena.
Again, that saved Lena in my mind from being a total idiot.
And Wayne was just like, yeah, that's right. The look on his face. So let's talk about the goodbye.
It was great.
Phenomenal.
Melissa killed it.
Again, watch these damn episodes. The Black Mercy, the Red Kryptonite, and the Red Tornado episodes. Watch those. Anyways.
But sometimes it's so hard because there's some episodes where I just cannot.
Let Melissa Benoist just get angsty and I'm getting goosebumps again and give us just all of either the anger or the sadness, the tears. She is phenomenal. Yeah. And she killed it, and so did Chris Wood.
Yeah.
His coughing and dying and I didn't even mind the whole I'm gonna go be the hero you believe I can be.
What's wrong with that?
Because he doesn't need to be a hero because she wants him to be.
He said, I'm going to be the man, I promise you I'll be the man that you knew I could be. That's so great. That's so good for him. That was one of the best lines, I feel like, in the entire season.
All along I've said he needs to want to be a hero because it's in him. Kara doesn't want to be a hero for anybody else. She wants to use her powers to help because she knows she can. He has always, from the get-go, the only reason he's wanted to be a hero is to be with Kara.
This was more like you've shown me that I have potential, and I have not reached that potential yet, and I should have been doing better. And I'm going to do better.
Like I said, I was okay with the line because it was so freaking well acted.
Okay.
I said I was fine with it. It didn't even bother me that much until now.
So it was in the end scene where she walks out and she's all triumphant, and that amazing song. I don't know what the song was called, but it was really good.
After Cat Grant?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Okay. So when she's flying.
Okay, so it was stupid when she just opens her shirt.
I knew you were going to say
this because
they're all behind her too.
Yeah. It's like, what's happening?
Here, look. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, Jadon's going to be like, everybody can see her. I'm like, it's just for the damn audience, okay?
But I forgave it because they had that nice shot of her flying and then cut the Monel and back to her. And it was so great. The music was perfect.
They should have ended there.
Yeah. And it actually reminded me of the season premiere, season 7 premiere of Smallville, where there's Supergirl's first episode. Where there's an end montage and it's like the song Sober by Kelly Clarkson's playing. And it shows, like, it cuts between Clark and Lana across different sides of the world. And then you see, it ends on Supergirl, and she's, like, on a water tower, and then she stands up and then flies away. Like, it felt like a lot like that scene. It was amazing.
Yeah, from the moment she walks out of Kat's office, and I didn't even get all, like, what's the word I'm thinking, where it's cheesy that she rips open her shirt. I loved every second of that scene, even though I noticed that she was doing it where everybody could see her.
I forgive it though.
Yes, because the music, it was so good. And again, Melissa Benoist is Supergirl to me. Like, she is really good.
There's a lot of emotion that went across her face, like
yes,
reluctance, and then hopeful, and
and then we get her just flying. Let's jump back real quick to her scene on the balcony with Alex, right after they win, and Mon-El has to leave. Well, actually, the whole scene where she's talking to Alex and saying, "Please do something. What can we do?"
Yeah, that was really good. Just like her basically pleading for another way out.
Yep. When
there were several ways out, but no one thought of them. But anyways, let's continue.
Right. There were several ways, but I really love that as she's realizing that not only is she losing, but the city is losing and people are dying, and that this is the only way. Like, again, Melissa Benoist just does amazing. All of the emotions that cross her face. I love that Supergirl had to make the decision and to pull the trigger, basically. That it wasn't Lena, that it wasn't someone else. I really love that they made her the one to make that choice, because that is Supergirl. And then the scene when Clark and she talk about how if it were Lois, he's not sure he could do it.
So that was the only one thing where, because the whole episode, they're basically saying, Kara is the world's greatest superhero, which is...
Just in this moment.
A whole other thing.
Just in this moment.
But that was the one thing where I was okay, where it's like, at first I was like, what? It was like, I really feel like, but then after I remember, I just played Injustice, where the whole game revolves around the storyline. If Superman lost Lois, then he would start murdering people. He becomes a tyrant, and he starts murdering people. I thought it was the
most consistent Superman thing is that Lois Lane is his kryptonite, is his weakness.
I didn't like the whole thing before, when they were training, he's like, well, this is what I fight for, and this is what I have in my heart.
I liked that.
It was again back and forth with me, but that was it was very pure Superman. If it was Lois, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. And
I thought it was great that
I really appreciated.
The only reason, or I go back to saying that there was no reason to have him here. However, it was nice to see her getting that advice and that conversation from her, when in season 1, when he wasn't cast yet, we only got that through the IMs.
Yeah.
So it was nice for her to have that conversation and to have, the whole let's go train scene and stuff was cute too.
His suit bugs me. I have to throw that in there.
It is weird.
I never talked about it because we never had a review for when he first showed up in the beginning of the season. But I hate his suit.
Me too.
Like, it's the color of it. It's fine.
I don't like the yellow.
I
Like it's too yellow or something.
It really does catch your eye. Like I found myself staring at it a lot. It's the same reason why they never have the S on the back. Because like in the comic books, he usually has an S on the back in yellow. But
on his cape, right?
Yeah. So like that's why they talked about it in Superman Returns. I think when they were making the suit is they don't put that on there because it draws way too much attention. But yeah, I hate his suit. Like I like either that Ma Kent made his suit or that Man of Steel. It's just part of Kryptonian traditional garb. Yeah. This suit is like, I don't know where this came from.
Yeah.
Like,
the way his cape sits is what really draws my eyes.
Yeah.
However, speaking of suits and capes, it was really funny to see the difference in the way they sit down. So Kara sweeps her cape to the side and doesn't sit on it at all, and Superman just goes poof, right on the cape.
Really? I did find myself watching how he moved, because like, that's one of the big things for me is why I like Henry Cavill as my Superman, even though Christopher Reeves, has a special place in my heart, is his whole presence, the way he walks and the way he talks and just the way his posture and everything. And I found myself watching Tyler for that, and it's weird because like when they walk into Lena's office from the balcony, he does this like that hop thing where like you hop from a step down to another step. He does that little one of those, and it was just like what. It is just interesting watching him, though. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah. It was probably... So it's weird, I don't know if I can explain it here, but in softball, we used to do different, like, cheers and stuff with certain plays. One of them that I did with one of my teammates was to slap hand glove and then spin in the air and do it, and we'd always land at the same time and do that hop step at the end. It's really, and it just became an automatic thing. It was like our swagger to walk out of it. Yeah. So that's how I kind of took it. It reminded me of that when I saw it. So maybe that's his. Oh, I just landed on the ground and I'm walking.
Well, no, but like it wasn't just like a
right.
Yeah, but it was a little bit later after he landed.
I know.
It was just like, is it? What?
However, I do think that Tyler Hoechlin does a very good job in his Superman suit. I don't think he does a very good job in Clark Kent.
I cannot tell you how much.
I think he carries himself well.
Yeah.
And then when he's Clark Kent, he just doesn't pull it off as much for me.
Like, I found myself, like, I think I liked his performance better the last time, even though his entire script was just, like, one-liners from Superman the movie, which just annoyed the crap out of me. But this episode, he felt, really young to me.
Yes. That's why when they said Krypton was 35 years ago, I was like, wow, he's 35, 36?
It's like he comes off as, like, being around the same age as her.
Yeah.
I don't get experienced hero from him, because apparently he's worked with Batman before. We've got into that.
Clark's friend.
Yeah, so and I'm assuming that there might be a Justice League, maybe not.
Yeah. But, I hate to push it on, but we are getting pressed on time. So let's talk about the scene with Alex and Kara on the balcony. So it's right after Mon-El gets booted, and I mean that was just a phenomenal scene in itself, and they both did an amazing job. Chris Wood was amazing this whole episode. Even when I hate Mon-El, I still love him. He's very good in this role. But Alex comes and talks to Kara on the balcony, and we get our Danvers sister moment. And I really love that she brought it all the way back to after Maggie rejected her. And Kara, she says, you broke into my apartment.
Yeah, you forced yourself into my apartment.
I love her. But she, Kara doesn't really want to listen, but she is listening, and she tells her, you told me you were proud of me, and it didn't matter then, but it worked afterwards, and she is proud of her, and she understands for the most part. And I thought it was in character for her to say, no, I don't want you to come over in that moment, because I liked how she said, I need to know that you are happy. It goes back to season 1 finale when she can't tell Alex goodbye until she's in outer space, and because she wouldn't have done it. And she's telling her, do all the things that being my sister didn't let you do. Please promise me that you'll find happiness. And she tells her, you have, I need to know that you're happy, that Magon and John are happy, and Wynn and Lyra, and this. And she tells her, never let her go. Which I was like, my heart. The never let her go got me more than the Sandverse proposal. Again, Melissa Benoist is amazing, and she's strong and trying to stay strong, but then when she tells her that, she is losing her emotion, and her eyes, she's so good.
The part I loved the most was just actually, back to you forced yourself into my home. For a second, I was like, when was that? Are you talking about when she came to live with you? Because that's a really rude. That's a really rude way to put adoption. The phrase adoption. I was like, you dick. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah, but then the part I liked the most was like, what do you need? Was when she kept asking,
yes,
what do you
that's
need?
right. When
what can I do for you?
That's right.
You want to sleep over at my place, or
do you need to be left alone? Like that's a good sister.
Yeah, it just came like it just for me. It just felt really real.
Yes, and I like that Maggie is in the background because when you see Kara there, and again, I know I see these things more than you do. When I see Alex walking up, she's with Maggie, and Maggie hangs back because she doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
But then she comes out, and when Kara leaves, and it was a really sweet moment between the two, and she goes to tell her, she's like, I know the Danvers girls, you don't break easy, and then good old baby gay Alex Danvers, who dives right into lesbianism, pulls out that U-Haul.
It was too quick. It was too quick, for one, and it felt too desperate, and it felt too It felt too reactionary.
Yes.
Because it was just like, oh crap, will you marry me?
Oh, I don't know if it's a no crap. I feel
that's what it felt like to me because it was so desperate. Like,
yeah.
Because I know what they were trying to convey with it, what the whole motivation of it was. And she even says please, right? She
says marry me, and then Maggie says excuse me, and then she goes seriously, marry me, please.
Yeah, it felt like it felt too desperate. And
it's a little desperate.
It feels too soon too, and I know it's like a lesbian thing, moving too fast or whatever. But it feels too fast. We haven't had. I don't feel like we know.
Say it. We haven't had any relationship.
I mean, and like they are their healthiest relationship, but we still.
But we haven't seen any relationship.
Like we don't. Like Maggie's not even like a person.
Exactly. They haven't moved in together. We don't know who Maggie is, and that's because of writers. No, they just stay over.
Well, I know. Like someone said something about like. And it sounded like they moved in.
No, well, because in the 219 episode, Kara says, "Didn't you stay at Alex's last night?"
It was another line, but whatever.
Yeah, no, they haven't moved in together, and it's just in the real world, women do move fast. I mean, hell, okay, I've got three couples on my freaking football team that were married within less than a year of dating.
Freak! I'm Mormon.
Right.
I know what that's like. But the misconception is, I actually know very, very few people who have moved that quickly.
All the ones I know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, like, I only have one friend where, like, it was, like, a matter of, like, 3 weeks or something.
No, 4 people just from the first Kohl's I worked at in here.
Oh, really?
They were dating for 3 months before they got married. But hey, they're still together. But anyways, if this were real life, like, I were their friends, on the outside, I would be like, hey, I hope it works out for you. But I'd be like, guys, it's so, like...
I hope it's a long engagement.
Be lesbians. So that's the thing. So let's talk about this. Before even knowing that Floriana Lima was going to a recurring character, we don't get Maggie's answer. We get an excuse me, and then her bright-ass, full-dimpled smile. So I'm hoping it's either a joke, like, wow, you jumped headfirst into this, didn't you, kid? Or something like that. Or didn't you, Danvers? Or it's I want to marry you, but that's a long way from now. Or I don't want it to be a no.
I hope it's I don't
hope it's drama. I don't hope Alex takes it as a rejection and then that's what we get for the first couple episodes or something. Would I be okay with a yes? Sure, because it fits Alex. It fits Alex. Like from what they've given us of Alex, like she is an in the moment, she is an impulsive person, so it fits Alex.
Yeah.
Does it fit the Maggie? I don't know, because I don't fetching know Maggie Sawyer.
Yeah. From what I do know,
no, it doesn't fit Maggie.
I hope it's what you said. It's either like there's either a joke coming or it's like this is a long way away kid or whatever.
Right.
But my first reaction, because I know these writers from what they've done, is it's purely drama. Yes. And it's just going to be either she rejects the proposal and it's going to be drama, or they get engaged and it's going to be drama when they break up. They get
engaged and married and we never see Maggie again except for every now and then because she's always undercover or out of town or visiting family.
She's home in the kitchen.
Yeah, because that's Maggie Sawyer for you.
I've heard so many jokes. I'm sorry. I've heard so many wife in the kitchen jokes from...
so anything else that's real big that you want to talk about?
That's it. don't think I can go any longer.
Yeah. I'm still here for this show, especially in this episode had a lot of issues, and I thought Resist was a stronger episode, to be honest with you. And it definitely did not have the feel of season 1 finale. But I enjoyed the last bit. I think they brought it back into Kara. I'm interested to see where they're going to go. We have Rain at the end, which I've only know because of AfterBuzz and Lex Michaels on there, or Lex Michael. And looking it up on Tumblr, she's a comic book character, another Kryptonian.
I thought Doomsday.
Yeah, someone said Doomsday. I would rather it's Rain.
Please don't do Doomsday.
Please don't do Doomsday.
Knowing them, it's going to be another female character who is all-powerful.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but please don't do Doomsday.
Don't do Doomsday.
Smallville...
It's Superman.
I know people have mixed feelings about it, but Smallville did... Like, if you look at the Smallville Doomsday, it's weird because it's a kind of Jekyll Hyde thing, but Sam Witwer played the crap out of him, and he looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at that, it's really quite astonishing what they made out of him, but please don't do that.
I don't want Doomsday. I don't want Superman villains.
Yeah, make your own villains.
Exactly.
Maxima, Rain, I guess. There's a whole bunch of them.
I didn't read up a lot of it, but I saw some snippets on Tumblr of comic book Rain, and I think that would be awesome.
But so help me, do not shoot one more baby off of Krypton.
Exactly.
It drives me nuts that
Done.
no one apparently believed Jor-El, but everyone was shooting their babies off into space.
Exactly.
That's all I got.
I really enjoyed. I still love this show, and I hope they can fix the issues in season 3. Maybe Calista Flockhart comes on as a recurring character and is in more than 3.5 episodes. But we'll see. I know that's a lot. And I really hope they take care of the Sandverse thing, because you actually haven't heard me say queer baiting a lot, but I'm tired of it.
This
and
might be the worst case of all.
You can queer bait, and with a healthy relationship, and if they screw this up, they're going to prove that to us.
Yeah.
So, because you don't... Go to Grey's Anatomy right now. Spoilers. Calzona, Arizona and Callie. Callie left. Sada Ramirez left, and within an episode, or not an episode, in this season, after she leaves, Arizona's already got another girlfriend, and it just... I don't know.
That's also what I'm afraid with Mono, is that as soon as Carl moves
Mono
on,
went somewhere.
Either to Legion or maybe to Legends. I think he'd work well on Legends.
Oh my gosh, he'd be hilarious on Legends.
Because he's not as powerful.
Do it!
He's not a Kryptonian, so he's not as powerful. And
Do
he'd
it!
fit right in. Either that, or he's gone to the
Phantom Zone.
The Phantom Zone, and the Legion's gonna find him.
Yep.
And I really hope they don't bring in the Legion, because I don't want them to screen that up too. So.
But it's been a pleasure coming out here and doing this and arguing with Jadon.
Yeah.
We have a good time. And comment, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Let us know. We will be doing some Wonder Woman stuff and just sporadically throughout the summer. And we will probably pick this back up. We'll see. And all that good stuff. We might do some live reaction and live taping after instead of waiting if my schedule works out.
Yeah, maybe switch around the format. We're trying to get more viewers. And, because we like doing this, but we like, to have more interaction with people. That's at least what I want. This is something I want to, grow, so.
Yes, agreed. But, thanks guys.
Yeah, we'll see you later.